I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. So the wine we're tasting today is Tertini Private Cellar Collection Refosco dal Peduncolo Rosso, 2019 vintage, and it's from the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. So the backstory to this wine is an intriguing one. Refosco is the variety, and it comes from northeastern Italy, the Venetian area. It's grown in Friuli and Trentino in Italy, and it's also across the border in Slovenia. And it's called Tertini in Slovenia, for those trivia lovers out there. The winery owner is a guy called Huon Tertini, who made his pile in selling furniture. Freedom Furniture was his first business, his franchise of furniture shops. But he was born and raised in Bologna in northern Italy, so has a special interest in the northern Italian grape varieties. And this wine forms part of a group of wines that they do at Tertini, which they call the Italian series. So there's an Ardeus, there's a Lagrine and a Corvina, as well as this Refosco. It's quite a rare variety in Australia. There are only 2 other Refoscos in the entire country that I'm aware of, and both of those are down in the Alpine valleys in Victoria, and they're made in similarly tiny quantities. So it's a variety that's very new to Australia. It's a very ancient variety in Italy and that part of the world, but it's new to Australia and people are just having a bit of a dabble with it now. But I think it's got a future. The winemaker is Jonathan Holgate at Tertini. The winery is at Mittagong in the Southern Highlands, and these grapes are actually on their own vineyard at Mittagong. So what does this Tertini Refosco taste like? I'll give it its full name. It's Refosco dal Peduncolo Rosso, and all that means is that the stalk of the bunch is red. Peduncolo means the peduncle, which is the stalk that the berries are attached to, and Rosso means red. So there are different kinds of Refosco, not all of them apparently have a red stalk. So there you go. What does it taste like? If you're in Italy, you'll find that Refosco is a really darkly coloured, bold, powerful, quite high tannin red wine. It's quite a formidable wine and needs a lot of protein to go down very well. Let's see what the guys at Tertini have done with it. Lovely colour, nice bright deep purple red colour, looks fresh, looks youthful. The nose is there's a touch of reduction there, so there's a bit of smoky sulphides to begin with, but underneath that there's a lot of dark fruit character, purple fruits, dark plums, black cherries. There's a little floral note there too. That wine will actually clear up with a bit of decanting and a bit of aeration on the nose. It will be better and better if you give it some air. Let's have a taste. And yes, that is a powerful wine. That's a very full-bodied wine, a lot of tannin. And the tannins are quite firm, they really grip the tongue. They're not green tannins, they're certainly nice ripe tannins, but they're definitely there. But if you had a good piece of cheese or the right kind of meaty, protein-filled food to go with it, you would not notice how tannic it is. It would just, those tannins would melt away. Good length of palate. I think this is a very bright young wine, which will probably do a lot more if you cellar it for a while. It's still in its youth, and I think it's got quite a few years ahead of it. So how did we rate this wine? We scored it 92 out of 100, which is a good strong silver ribbon score. And it's a comment we've made is that a little extra age will probably see this wine improving even further, and it may rate better in the future when it's a bit more mature. It's very young at the moment. It's a $65 wine, so it's got quite a premium price on it, but it is very limited production. I do have the numbers here. Only 225 dozen bottles were produced, so it's quite a limited production wine. It's sold mainly from the cellar door, which is up at Mittagong. As far as the drinking window, we've said you could drink it now, but it's best if you keep it for another couple of years, and certainly 10 to 12 years would be no problem for this wine at all. So what sort of food would you have with a wine like this? I suspect in Italy, where they have wild boar with everything that's full-bodied, they would probably do, you know, pasta or risotto with wild boar, but we don't have too many wild boar running around in Australia. So let's try something different. I'm going to suggest some other kind of game meat, and I'm thinking venison, but even more kangaroo. I think kangaroo seared on the barbecue. You don't cook kangaroo for too long. You serve it nice and red and rare in the centre, but seared on the outside on the barbecue with an appropriate sauce would be just fine with this wine. Excellent. Good health.